Welcome everyone to Neverwinter on PC. My name is Rainer and today I'm excited to finally tell you guys about the MOD16 changes. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, and if you would like to see more information or videos about Neverwinter, hit the subscribe button. Let me start off by saying I will not go in depth on almost anything in this video. It will be mainly a summary of things that did change and things that did not change. Also, it will probably be a pretty long video as it is. In future videos, I will go more in depth on each of the subjects that I feel need more coverage. I am right now on a character that I just copied to MOD16, so you have a base feeling of how it will be when you move over. The first thing you will notice, if you keep your quest tracker relatively clean, is that you have gotten a new quest, an important invitation. This is the quest that will lead you into the new yawning portal hub, and with that the new Underdark areas, etc, etc. You will get it automatically, so you will not have to go to Neverember or Nox. It will, I guess this quest will just pop up once you hit level 70. Which, of course, is not the highest level anymore. But let's give this video a little bit of structure by using some categories. The first category will be me talking about the level cap raise and everything that is basically linked to that. Then I will talk about player builds, combat, and everything involved in those aspects, basically everything behind the C key and combat. The third category is miscellaneous, changes that don't fall in the other two categories, and finally the last category will be something that also needs to be covered, which is the things that have not changed, and that list is pretty small. So let's start off with the level cap raise. As I said, right now with MOD16 you can go up to level 80. 70 is not the maximum anymore, and well, it's pretty easy to level up at first, but at some point it will get a little bit more slowly. Along with the level cap raise, of course, we get new gear, and we don't have icons yet, but there are 5 new sets of gear. You have the armor of the Dungeon Raider, Spy Guild, Protege, Ruined Apprentice armor, and armor of the Successor, and this armor goes up to level 725, which is a ton. So we get a lot higher item level gear. Along with the new gear we also get a new seal. It's called the Seal of the Deep, and all current random queues will now give Seals of the Crown. There's also other gear that you get from questing and drops in the Undermountain area, and I'm trying to compile a list of, well, I'm trying all of the gear, but it's going to be difficult because there is a lot. There's a lot of new sets along with the 5 sets that you just saw here. Also, with the level cap raise, there's also new weapons. We have the Mountaineer set, Burnish set, Alabaster set, Set of the Watcher, and they also go up to item level 700, which is a lot. And you will see this in weapon damage, which is a lot higher. So that will be a big impact, and ultimately will make everyone switch to these weapon sets, even though the weapon sets might be a little bit less good, but we'll get into that later. Next up, also important, enchantment and runestones now go up to item level rank 15, so we can actually refine these to rank 15 now. Same for runestones. Also, weapon enchantments and armor enchants have received a new rank 40. For the additional ranks, a new mark of potency is also required. This is now called a mark of potency rank 7, I think. yeah. So the marks of potency now have been called according to ranks. The same is true for the enchanting stones. They also are now based on ranks. Let me see, do I have some down here? So this is an enchanting stone rank 4, 3, 2. So they're more easily easier to differentiate, let's say like that. Another thing that's really interesting, but insignias now go up to legendary. So you can actually refine epic insignias to legendary. And it's a big step. It's basically doubling the stats of the insignias. The insignias, by the way, also have all been changed. They give different stats now. Enchantments give different stats. Runestones give different stats. Weapon and armor enchantments are changed. A lot has changed. Also connected to the level cap raise, I guess. But there are 2 new healing potions. They're called the Prestigious Healing Potion and the Eminent Healing Potion. And of course they are more powerful than the ones we had. They're 60 silver and 70 silver each. And with the new content you will be using quite a bit of them if you don't have the Stones of Health. So let's go over to the next category, which is player builds and combats. I've already done this a couple of times, but if you press the C button you get this pop-up of using a free respec. Well, you can press cancel as many times as you want, but this pop-up will keep coming, so you have to accept it at some point. It won't go away. At this point, you can already see that your item level, because this was just a copied character from live. I just copied it. It was at 18k, and we've dropped quite a bit, but don't be afraid, we will get back up. You also can see the new stats here: crit resist, deflect, accuracy, awareness. Those things are now of course here, but you already knew that those were coming. The next thing you will see is the ability scores, which you have to fill in again, of course, after respec. But there have been some changes here. For the Hunter Ranger in the past, Dex used to be very important. Well, let's call it the Ranger now, because the names have been changed. Dex used to give a damage bonus, and this damage bonus has been removed. It's moved to Strength, actually, physical damage boost. Int has a magic damage boost. So this has been changed. I don't know if this is final as it is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think it's the same for each class, which is really, really new. So this can be a little bit annoying if... yeah. This is a little bit odd, that all attributes are the same for all classes. Of course, some classes need int, some classes need strength. Charisma is, I think, one of the few that has not been changed that much, but there's recharge speed here, which is important. But yeah, attributes also changed. So let's go to the history screen. Is not changed, but the power screen is. And as you can see here, your Paragon choice now has a much bigger impact than before. In the old system, your Paragon affected your power slightly, and also your feat choices slightly. Now you really get a much bigger difference as you get a completely different feat set down here. And most of your powers will be different. So all of these are specific for the Warden. And if you go to this one, you get powers that are specific for the Hunter Paragon path. After you made your choice, and for the purpose of this video, I'm just gonna pick the Warden. You will see that the power screen after you have made a choice is also a lot more compact. Not only all powers are here now in one screen, but also you will see the feats in the bottom now in the same screen. As you can see here immediately, there's no more big screen with about 60 feats I think you could choose in the past, but 5 sets of 2. And you can also see that some of the powers still need to be unlocked. One other thing that has been said before is that power points are gone, so you just always have the power at its maximum capability. Most of the powers in here, well, the icons, they look familiar, but don't be deceived. Every single power has been adapted in some way. One of the biggest changes in the whole combat system is that party buffs and debuffs are almost completely removed from the game, especially when it comes to player powers. There are some other things that give some party buffs, but player powers, hardly anything there anymore. Then let's go to the boons screen. This was already shown in the blog, well, this one here. Well, let's not get subjective, I'll save that for another video, but all campaign boons are now in one screen. During campaigns you will collect boon points, which you can spend in this screen. At certain milestones you will be able to take boons from higher tiers, like tier 5 and the master boons. Seeing how many points you can get and how few good options there are with the very limited stacking of actually 2 in some cases, there will not be that much variation here, I'm afraid. You already have 65 boon points at the start. Some of these choices are not that great, so it will be very limited. Stronghold boons have not been changed. PvP boons also have not been changed as far as I know. Then we get to companions, and this is new for you guys. The companion screen has received a big overhaul, and not just the screen, the whole companion system is overhauled. This will get a big detailed video, but a couple big things here already. You will have one summoned pet and certain powers slotted instead of having 5 active companions. You have one summoned companion which fights for you and has some powers that it uses, and these are basically your old active bonuses here. The active bonuses have been all changed, almost all of them not changed, and you have what's it called, an enhancement as well, which is either a buff for you and your companion or a debuff for your enemy. Also, bonding rune stones are now mandatory and easier to get. And one more thing, companion equipment now only accepts companion equipment. So no more masterwork equipment in here, no more rings, no more Grave Striker rings, all those nice things that made your companion very strong. You can only put companion stuff in here, and this is why the CTA video I made was so important. I couldn't say it in that video, but I hope you were able to get some gear. Otherwise, buy some companion gear before the price goes up too much. Another one thing to finish it off, companion gear now receives rune stones instead of enchantments. That's also very new. Next up, let's go to the mount screen. The mount screen isn't changed, but the equip power in some cases are changed because of the new stats, of course, that we can get, and AP gain has been nerfed a bit. Another thing that has been changed is, of course, the insignias go to legendary, and the insignia bonuses have also been changed, but I will cover those as well in a different video. As for how combat feels, with the removal of lifesteal and buffs, debuffs, you will no longer ruffle stomp content. You won't. You actually have to get skill now to play the game. Damage is much lower than before, but also damage that you receive is more manageable. So the health bar actually has a function now. Also, there are of course new build possibilities, or better yet, the old builds are completely gone. I will be releasing my Ranger build at some point as well, which works for me in the current mod 16. All powers except for at wills will be spammed much less due to getting much less recharge speed and AP gain, which in turn made it so that the powers can become a lot more potent. I actually can appreciate this change in specific, that we're not as godly as we were. The game was too easy, and honestly you can't deny that as well. It wasn't fun to not have any challenge anymore. You just ran through all of the content basically. Do note that the enemy hit points have been nerfed together with the decrease of damage. Don't expect that you have to pummel Orcus for 3 hours now if you want to run a Tomb of the Nine Gods, for example. Everything has been adapted to the new combat system, the new damage, let's say. One more thing that I also saw was asked at some point, but regen is also removed as a stat, but everyone will have some passive out of combat regen, which you will need because you will get damage and you will not heal that automatically anymore. So that's already a lot of changes. Let's go to the miscellaneous changes, if that wasn't enough. There are now challenge campaigns, which basically bring you back to old zones for additional rewards that actually add something. One of the rewards here is the new Mark of Potency, which you need to get your, I think your weapon enchant. No, I think you need them for the rank 15 upgrade for your enchantments and runestones. Refinement changes as well. So about the refinement changes, I've swapped to a different character. You can now refine until success. So if I take, for example, this cruel enchantment, I put a ward in and I upgrade, it will ask me try once or try until success. If you do try until success, it will use up wards until you succeed. So let's do this. You can see that it worked. You used one attempt, so I did not consume any wards. I think that should mean that. Scaling improvements. Scaling now actually works. Even if you go into Cloak Tower, well, it won't be super hard to solo it, but you can't kill everything with one at will anymore. The big thing is, due to content being more of a challenge, consistently, devs can actually increase the rewards of that content. So that's what we're moving towards. Content is no longer ruffle stomp and you will get better rewards. That's the trade-off. One addition, for those people saving up on XP tomes only work at level 70. So once you hit level 71, you cannot use them anymore. So if you want to use them to get over levels, do it before mod 16 hits. So that was the miscellaneous changes. I probably missed some stuff as well. Let's go to the last category, and that's what has not changed. And one of the things that has not changed, which I feel a bit sad about, but professions have not changed at all for mod 16. This with the level cap means that all gear from professions is hardly viable anymore for endgame. So once you're level 80 and you have access to the new gear and the new weapons, I don't think many people will use the masterwork gear anymore. Also the fact that companions don't use masterwork gear anymore, they cannot. It doesn't look good. Let me make this clear though. In order to get through the new campaign, it is a good idea to actually gear up significantly or team up. The new content is pretty tough unless it was made easier at some point, of course. Don't think that you can go there with your Barovian gear, your starter set there, and that you can make it. It's not gonna work. One other thing that has not changed, what people have been asking for a lot, but strongholds for now in mod 16 are still at a maximum level 20. So nothing has changed there as far as I know. That's basically the short overview. It's not really a short video actually for an overview, but a lot has changed. You could call this mod 16, you could also call this Neverwinter 2.0. It really is, and it really feels, the combat feels like a really new game. If you have any remarks on this video or any suggestions on what to investigate next, feel free to leave a comment below and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next video.